so much for watching. My name is Alanna. This is my very first makeup tutorial. I decided to go with my go-to glam look. I really hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so I just tied my hair up and I already have moisturizer on my skin. I like to use the Kiehl's Daily Revival Concentrate. And this is the Marc Jacobs Invisible Undercover Perfecting Coconut Face Primer. I really like it for the summer because it gives a really dewy look. And then foundation. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Seawater Foundation. I just drop it on the back of my hand and dot it all over my face. Then I go in with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I like to use this up to the under eyes because it has kind of an orangey tint, so that cancels out my dark circles. And then I go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, just do the rest of the areas. And I'm just brightening up like the high points and the centers of my face. I also like to go in and just carve out that area underneath where we're going to be contouring because that's just going to make it pop. And I also like to cream contour because I feel like that makes a better base for the powder contour later. So I'm just going to draw these rough lines, just like in the hollows of my cheeks, around the forehead, and underneath the jawline. And then I'm just gonna do a little bit of a nose contour. And I make sure to keep the lines really close. So now I'm just gonna go in with the Beauty Blender and just blend everything. Okay, so complexion is pretty much done. We're just gonna go in with the powder products now. I am gonna use the Kat Von D Translucent Setting Powder. I used to use the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for under the eyes, and then I would use the excess for the rest of the face. But I found that the Kat Von D one is finer. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with powder foundation, the L'Oreal True Match. But I use it as bronzer because it is a foundation. It's really smooth. If you guys want to see, it's really cool because not much left, but the shade is really similar. So if you don't want to drop $30 on the Hoola, you can get a drugstore foundation and it works really well. Just make sure you don't get an orangey shade. You want to get kind of a warm shade. So I do like a harsh line and just kind of set the product everywhere, and then I'll go in and buff it away. Just because this foundation is a little bit more orangey than the Hoola, I use the Hoola for my nose because I just want to make sure my nose contour is really ashy as opposed to orangey. So just like that. And then I will take my Beauty Blender and just dab, dab, dab everywhere. Okay. I just picked this up because I saw my little sister using it. It's the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, so I'm just going to put it in the center of my face. So now I can just dust away the Kat Von D Translucent Powder underneath my eyes. And I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it's super matte and very airbrushed. And we're just going to move right into brows. So I like the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade. I use Auburn. I think this one has lasted me like 2 years. This is the Anastasia, I think, number 14 brush. It has this spoolie on one end and then the angled thing on the other. So I'm just tracing the outline of my brow. And then I like to start like about in the center. I don't start too far forward. And then I just fill in the tail, make sure that's pretty dark. And then the middle. And then the front. I want the least amount of product in the front. And when there's like hardly anything left, then I'll trace the very front end of the brow and fill it in. I just use the spoolie to follow the same direction of the strokes that I was doing, and to comb it out makes it look a little bit more natural. And there's an eyebrow. I'm just gonna do the other side, and I'll probably just fast forward through this. And then 99% of the time they turn out uneven like this, but I just let it go. And then I typically go in with a powder if I'm feeling super extra. It helps enhance the color as well as set the pomade, which is like a cream product, so it's not going to move anywhere. And also if you have any sparse areas that the pomade wouldn't go into, because sometimes it sticks onto certain hairs and like it can't go onto the skin underneath it anymore. If you guys like have experienced that, it's really difficult. The powder will then fill in those sparse areas. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side and fast forward through that. If I want to set them, I use the Maybelline Great Lash. I've never actually purchased the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I've like used my friend's before and it's like fine. You know, it's just a clear gel, so if you want to save some money, I would recommend just this one. Sets them all day. Okay, blush. This is a CoverGirl one. It's actually really, really good. I used to not buy drugstore makeup too much. I was just really into high-end makeup and that's all I would buy. But there's some really good ones. The Covergirl blushes are really pigmented. I just dipped in once and it did both cheeks. And I'm not a huge blush person. I like to have it bring some color back into the face, but I'm not all about red cheeks. So then we can just move into the eyes. First things first, I think I'm gonna use the Tartelette in Bloom palette today. I'm just taking this white shadow and putting it all over to set so that all the shadows will blend really easily. And I'm going in with, this is the Milani palette. I got it from the Walgreens down the street. It was really, really cheap, but it's surprisingly good formula. I'm using this kind of tan color. It's a really good transition color. So I'm concentrating in the outer part and putting it down in the V a little bit, using a really light hand. Okay, and then same thing on the other side. Then I go in with a little bit of Rebel. It's like kind of a maroon-ish color. And then I focus on the outer crease, keeping it pretty low. And then once there's pretty much all the pigment off the brush, I start to go throughout the whole crease. Okay, same thing, other side. Now I'm gonna do the lid color. I got this Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. It's the Kitten Karma one. The only issue I have with it is it's so liquidy that it transfers really easily. But I really like the color. Okay, so there's that. And then I go in with this little flat shader brush and then I just mirror all the shadows that we did before. Do some highlighting. The glitter is still drying, so that's why I'm not going to move straight into mascara or lashes just yet. This is my new favorite highlight. It is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the liquid form. This is Opal. So I just kind of put that on and I take my damp beauty blender and just... So there's a nice glow. And then we're just going to do the eyes. So lash curler. Okay, this is the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. I'm just kind of trying to add a little bit of product to the lashes just so I can pop on some falsies. Let's do falsies. Okay, so this is a pair from the drugstore. It's like the Kiss Lashes in 11. And then I just use the black Duo Lash Adhesive. I let that get tacky for like 30 seconds-ish. The longer you wait, the tackier it is and the easier it is to maneuver. Typically in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I'll just go ahead and do the other lash. So I just remove it, apply the glue, and then while that one's drying, this one's probably about done. So I grab it with my tweezers. And then the key is to go in like from the top and really secure it as close to the lash line as possible. And then you secure the other ends. So here we go. Other side. Okay, so lashes are done. Then if I'm feeling super extra, I can put on a liquid lip. So a lot of people like to use a lip liner. I just don't really care too much. I just go in. Finally, I take the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This is my favorite one for summer. I tried a bunch of other ones recently, like the Tatcha one, because I wanted my skin to look dewy. For the same reason, I tried the Marc Jacobs one, because they add that extra dew to my skin, and then later my skin gets oily. It just looks like double oily, and so it wasn't really working too well for me. So the Urban Decay All Nighter one is probably the best one for me, so I just spray this everywhere. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. You can request if you want to see a tutorial on a certain thing like how to contour or how to do brows more in depth. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.